Class. So today we're going to look at multiple timelines. I want to teach you today that in historical fiction, there are more than just one timeline. There's a main character's timeline, a timeline that is personal, narrative, or a plot line, but then there's also a historical timeline of the big historical events, and the two are intertwined. This is also true in life itself. The events in the main character's life and in your life and in mine occur alongside and are affected by an unfolding timeline of world events. To understand a character, a person, we have to get to know not only the person's personal timeline, but also the historical timeline that winds in and out of the person's timeline. All right, so today I will be able to keep track of how the character's timeline is intertwined and closely connected with the historical timeline. Here are some translations. High order question. Ready and go. How do the historical events influence or affect the actions of the characters? Okay, so let's make this personal. So here's my personal timeline, as if I was a character in a book. So I was born in '73, and I moved to this small town up in the mountains in 1985. In 1991, I went to college, and I got married in '94, had my 2 boys, and then I went back to work in 2004, started riding bikes really passionately in 2007, started to travel internationally in 2008, and in 2011, moved to India. So let's see how that matches up with world history. So if we look, the Vietnam War ended the same year I was born. The World Trade Center was attacked just when my kids were about 1 and 3. I went back to work the same year that the tsunami hit Southeast Asia. And I started traveling internationally the same year Barack Obama was elected president. Okay? So I just want to point out how my timeline, my personal timeline, is affected by world history. So if we look at The Fighting Ground, our book that we're reading together, Jonathan's story takes place April 3rd, 1778. So we just want to take a look at how that fits in with world history. So the Boston Massacre had already happened. The British imposed the Intolerable Acts. In '76, the American colonies declared their independence from England. And in February of 1778, the Americans and the French signed a treaty of amity and commerce and a treaty of alliance, which meant that the French were going to help the American colonies fight against the English. And that happened just 2 or 3 months before Jonathan's story, okay? And then after his story, we have a very pivotal moment in the Battle of Yorktown, and then in 1783, the Treaty of Paris, which officially ended the war. So taking a look at your book club book, you may want to, at some point, kind of chart out your character's timeline and what's going on with them, and then also see where they fit in with the historical timeline. You can do a really easy Google search on timeline of American Revolution and see what you come up with and see what's been happening around the time of your book. All right, that's all for today. Thank you so much. Bye.